Well, Michael Cohen's closed-door testimony, not the only headline maker on the Hill today. In fact, news breaking all over the place. Let's bring in senior political correspondent Andrew Whitman with the latest. And the latest is a live vote.
Yeah, it is, Rich. And the House right now is taking its first formal step to try and roll back President Trump's emergency declaration along the southern border and force Republican senators into a really dicey vote of their own. This a live look at the House of Representatives voting right now. They're going to pass a resolution to override the president's declaration. The vote is close right now, but it's still early, and it will pass by a fairly wide margin. One Republican has already come on board to rebuke the president. We do expect others. And once the House completes that vote, well, that's where things get interesting. Unlike most bills, this resolution must get a vote in the Senate within 18 days, and that vote cannot be filibustered. So 51 votes is all the bill needs to pass in the Senate. All 47 Democrats and independents will vote for the disapproval, and 3 Republicans, Maine's Susan Collins, Alaska's Lisa Murkowski, and North Carolina's Tom Tillis, are all announced yeses to overturn the emergency. That means Democrats need just one more Republican to flip on the president, and these 9 senators are all officially on the fence. Plus, you can probably add Rand Paul to this list as well. So expect the vote of disapproval to pass the Senate. If it does, President Trump has issued his first veto threat, which means an override effort is likely, though unlikely to pass. Democrats on the Hill may then sue or join a lawsuit in process to try and stop that emergency declaration. And earlier in the day, there was all sorts of activity on the House side of the Capitol, pushing back on the Trump administration's family separation policy. We already knew that the administration took thousands of kids from their parents at the border, then failed to keep track of how many or where they went or where the parents went. They're also resisting efforts to reunite them all, calling that too complicated and too time-consuming. And perhaps even more chillingly, they now claim that reuniting the kids with their parents would be, wait for it, traumatic to the kids. And now a new report adding another source of shame. Thousands of claims these kids were sexually abused while in U.S. custody. 4,500 such complaints from kids in Health and Human Services custody between 2014 and 2018. Another 1,303 complaints from kids under Justice Department custody, including 178 claims of sexual abuse by Justice Department staff members. The chairman of the House Oversight Committee has seen enough. Maryland's Elijah Cummings issuing subpoenas for documents on family separations. He says the administration had already fumbled earlier requests for documents. Republicans say he's not giving the administration enough time to try to find all those documents. Today, the House Judiciary Committee grilling Scott Lloyd. Lloyd is the director of the Office of Refugee Resettlement, the top man in the office that oversaw the separations. Lawmakers hammered him for not having a plan to track the kids or parents or arrange reunions, and those lawmakers did not hold back.
You did not put into place any policies that would pull this I don't even have words for it, horrendous policy back. Did you ever say to the administration, this is a bad idea? Here's what my child welfare experts have told us. We need to stop this policy. Did you once say that to anybody above you?
The gentlelady's time has expired, but you may answer the question.
To answer your last question, I did not say those words.
You never said that to anybody.
Order.
You never told anybody that this was a deeply harmful policy.
And the numbers just shocking here. I want to come back, Andrew, to a lead story that we talked about. Closed-door meetings, closed-door hearings today in the Senate with Cohen. Tomorrow, live on Technicolor, we're all going to be watching this. Right after the hearings, just in fact, a few minutes before the show, I mentioned Senator Warner, again, the ranking member on the committee today that heard it. Let's play that clip now. This is what Warner had to say, and he puts this in context from his career, the significance, and what he heard today from Michael Cohen.
2 years ago when this investigation started, I said it may be the most important thing I'm involved in my public life in the Senate, and nothing I've heard today dissuades me from that view.
Andrew, we showed today earlier what Getz said. It was basically a mob threat that if you talk, we're going to talk about affairs, had nothing to do with the testimony today. It's going to be unbelievable. Yeah, and I'm curious what, if anything, Republican leadership is going to do about it. But leave that aside. What are you going to look for tomorrow?
I'm going to look to see how credible Cohen comes across. Republicans are going to try to attack his credibility. He's already admitted to lying to Congress once. He's an admitted felon and has admitted to crimes committed during the campaign. So how credibly does he come across? Is he combative, or is he just does he sort of bend over and take his lumps as this thing goes along? How credible does he come across? That's the linchpin to everything that he has to say tomorrow.
In two wildcards tomorrow, what he will say the president said, what he alleges the president will do, and what records he will have, email correspondence, etc., from the president to verify some of those allegations. Tomorrow, we will hear it. Okay. In addition to the huge stories we had this week, by now I'm sure you heard Patriots owner Robert Kraft charged with soliciting prostitution, but don't think this is some victimless crime. This is human trafficking, sex slavery. It's a lot worse than you heard and a lot more common than you may think.